And we're back here again. Except now a different person's leaving.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're not here.
Yeah, I guess
Probably
because they're far away. I
yeah.
remember thinking that was weird too.
Yeah, that is weird.
But they're a
I mean,
distance?
I guess it makes sense.
I remember just for a moment I thought it was going to go, hoo. But of course it's honk. Of course. Oh.
Susato-san.
I've just checked, Naruhodo-san. Your luggage is already on board. Such a beautiful morning. Perfect for embarking on a journey, isn't it?
Before I set off, I'd just like to say how thankful I am for everything you've done for me. And give my warmest regards to Kazuma, please.
You do that yourself?
I think you ought to give him your regards in person, don't you?
Yes.
Sorry?
Here we go.
Nani?
Of course he's gonna be here.
Yeah, why wouldn't he be?
Right?
It's almost silly of him to think he wouldn't come.
I know, like, dude.
Kazuma! What are you doing here?
Do you really think I'd miss my best friend's departure?
I mean, yeah. Fair question.
Thanks. To be honest, I'd been looking forward to our wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's capital, but,
Well, we'll have to save that for another time. Personally, I'm looking forward to facing you in court again.
Me too. But, we're both defense lawyers, so,
I'm going to become a prosecutor.
Oh, you're still going on that path. Okay, weird.
I'll stay in Lord Van Zeek's tutelage for the time being, but before long, I intend to be just as formidable as the Reaper himself.
Oh, I see.
Actually, Ryunosuke, I have a favor to ask.
Name it.
The sword!
I'd like you to take care of this for me for a while.
Just like the old days.
Kazuma?
In red.
Why?
Because I've seen it now. I've seen what's inside me, the demon that reared its ugly head that day.
Yeah, you were kind of, like, super hardcore.
It was only for the briefest of moments. The last time I came face to face with that inspector. But it was unmistakable. I wanted to kill him.
Yeah, because we
Gotcha.
never really addressed the wedged part of the sword in the case
Yeah,
directly.
we never really did.
For that to have happened, it meant you must have tried to swing at him and he blocked it with the case. That was probably not an intent to threaten.
I've always known there are demons that live inside people. And now I know there is one in me. The fact that it very nearly consumed me is something I'll carry with me until the end of my days. While I devote my life to fighting those whose demons have got the better of them. As a prosecutor.
So, that's what you've resolved to do, is it?
Until I'm ready to face the demon within me. To slay it once and for all. I leave this in your care. If you'll take it.
I was like, we're getting one of the older versions of this theme.
For the road.
Of course I will.
For the road.
I'll keep it by my side. Always. Until we meet again, then. You have your path to follow, and I have mine.
Naruhodo-san?
Have I missed the
path you're
boat?
going to follow from now on. I wonder if I might follow it at your side, and unless I'd be a burden.
Wait, but I thought you were gonna. Okay.
I mean, I would very much like you to come with me. But aren't you?
You're so predictable, Ryunosuke.
I am?
Honestly, you never change at all. But that's what I like about you.
You mean you knew about this?
It was the evening after Lord Van Zeek's trial came to an end. She came to see me at the prosecutor's office.
Really? Oh, when I had that conversation with Professor Mikotoba.
Mm-hmm.
So, you'd go with Ryunosuke back to Japan?
Yes. I know it's unfair of me to follow my own interests like this.
Coming here especially to tell me. You're a stickler for etiquette, aren't you? Well, what are his feelings?
We've never discussed it, of course, and Naruhodo-san has made no such suggestion. I worry that perhaps I'd be a burden to him.
He's just as much of a stickler for etiquette as you are. He'd never say anything before he was asked. But I'd feel happy knowing you were with him. Look out for him on my behalf, will you?
Of course.
Better get that Clint painting off the wall. Might want to go burn it.
What do you think, Naruhodo-san?
With you by my side, no trial would seem too daunting. So if you're willing, I'd be honored if you'd come with me. Together we can take on the world.
I'm terribly incompetent, but if you'll have me, I'd be delighted.
Oh, no, not at all. If anyone's terribly incompetent, it's me.
Ah! What's wrong?
Japanese
You're lucky,
courtesy.
Susato-san. There's no time. The ship's going to set sail any minute now.
It's all right. There's no need to worry.
Did you already get it loaded?
As it happens, my luggage is already on board too.
Yep, there you go.
It is?
Your fine judicial assistant has everything in hand as always, I see.
Ooh.
Bruno, your ship's about to leave.
Have we ever heard Iris speak before? Probably, I just don't remember.
I think once.
Time to go then. Look after yourself, Ryunosuke.
Maybe.
Kazuma, draw your sword.
Let's have a duel.
Fight to the death.
Right now. Minutes before we set sail.
You said you'd be a prosecutor for the rest of your life. You didn't know how true that was.
One day, when our paths cross, once more, we'll fight a duel of words across the courtroom. A day I eagerly await as a lawyer.
I've been waiting to hear you say that. Partner.
Aw. His sword is still busted at the end. Probably have to get that fixed at some point.
Don't forget me then, Kazuma.
As if I could, Ryunosuke.
Well, I don't know, you did have amnesia, so...
And Mr. Sholmes, thank you so much. I'm very much indebted to you.
Indeed, Mr. Naruhodo. I believe you are.
I'll never forget all you've done for me during my time in London.
Quite. I should like to think you will remember your debt of gratitude. Especially when I visit you in your country. What? The truth is, although many are ignorant of the fact, The world is far smaller than most folk realize.
Well, I'd be delighted if you came to Japan one day.
Oh yes, would welcome you with open arms, Mr. Sholmes.
Oh, that sounds wonderful! I can't wait!
In that case, let us conclude that this is to be merely a brief parting, my dear fellows.
And that brings us to the end of my adventures in Great Britain.
Ooh.
A peculiar twist of fate brought me halfway around the world those many months ago. But that was just the start of my journey. Who knows where fate will lead me next? Still, I'm confident this won't be my last meeting with the friends I've made in London. And when we're together again, no doubt the first words I'll hear will be,
Objection.
Come, the game is afoot.
Oh, no.
That's kind of his thing.
I mean, that makes a lot more sense than what I said. I'm just so used to games ending
The
with
ship,
objection.
with our friends from the east, sailed steadily towards the distant horizon. But Sholmes's face was alight with joy. The times may change, but a steadfast friendship will remain true, Wilson. We have but to gently close our eyes, and we are with our companions once more.
Cute.
So I do just that. And when I do, I can hear his strong, familiar voice ring out.
Is this the objection?
Objection!
There it
Because
is.
it has to follow the tradition.
Oh, of course.
Until we meet again, Bruno.
Cute.
Credits. That
Credits.
means you have to give the impromptu review.
Oh, lordy.
Because I don't think Sean's going to beat this. Therefore, we can't do an episode of the show. But you can kind of talk in between stuff because we're going to check in with characters, as, again, is tradition.
Right.
There'll be another separate credit section, I think, that'll give you more time, but...
Okay.
She's
Yeah, I
a-
don't think he's being a... I'm not even sure if he's being the first one, has he?
I thought he got around 5 cases in.
Okay.
I'm not positive, though.
So he's like half. And he's done one game, but not the other.
I think that's about right. I thought he had started case 6, but... As you can see.
Made him cry. Yeah, that's fair.
Upset.
Adorable.
Further clarifies the earlier moment. That it was
Mhm.
him.
Yeah. Get that off the wall. Good. This track is great. Doggo.
Okay. Good.
He probably knew, girly.
He probably didn't. He only knows one thing, and that's fish and chips.
That's correct. What was I thinking? This is like before his final moments? No, not before final moments.
Or
Just
this
kidding.
Go.
A ghost. Oh no. Oh, is this the note? No, that can't be the note. Never mind. This is just a ghost. But we get the benefit of talking to a ghost man.
Mm-hmm. It's possible it was the note, but I don't think it was.
No, probably not. Oh my god, this guy?
Because protecting her would mean that he was then exposing her potentially by saying such things.
Right. It's like that he has cats all over his head. This guy? Why are you beat up?
Yeah, we'll never know. They're clearly here to defend him to some capacity, and it's not. Well, I wouldn't say it's going poorly.
The system is still very much in its infancy. Clearly,
Needs help.
he needs help. Ryunosuke's not back yet.
Ouchie's not going to be the guy to do it.
Nope. Looks like she's rolling her eyes, like, oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Whew, okay.
It's fine.
I was like, oh god, what's happening?
Even the switch is like, it's time to stop.
You've been going on too long now.
Bum, 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 bum. A little medley for the credits. Why not?
Oh, of course. We got to. Oh my god, this nerd.
Get out of here, dweeb.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, if you keep relying on him like this, there's going to come a point where you will be twisting in the wind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously he has a decent level of caring for you. You go back a ways and he's looking out for you, but I don't think you want to poke the bear too many times.
Mm-hmm.
It was the family's credo.
Mm-hmm.
And she probably didn't realize that it could then be used against her as leverage in the future, but
Yeah, probably not.
the opportunity for someone of that caliber, easy to see why.
Mm-hmm. These guys have to share a cell. I don't. You might want to look to jump out another window again, Vigil. She's taking this very well. No.
One more for the road. I've been using that phrase very deliberately. Here's one more example. I love that she's sort of kind of like, I support you. I can totally see why it would happen. But you can see the reservation still.
Oh, totally.
Like, you made friends. I'm so happy for you,
Yay!
jail husband.
Jail husband.
You might have the way you were going.
Yeah, truly, dude.
So if there were any more cases, and there are not, you would have gotten your wish. You would have had a sword to prop his hand against.
Oh no! Dang it! That's true.
You can
I missed
imagine.
that. I can
It's
see it
happening.
in my mind's eye.
Yeah. It's nice to see a room where everything's actually in order for once.
Mm-hmm.
Because we've seen not very many, but a couple different variations of this with everything just tossed and...
Mm-hmm. Oh, the photo was cute. Yes, blow it up. Adorable.
You have to finger gun.
Oh, totally. Trademark.
It's part pointing, part finger gun. Here's our regular credits.
Oh yeah, where we walk.
Akin to the first game, we walk and people join us for our walk.
Mm-hmm.
So now this is your chance. I won't talk.
Time.
I mean, I will, but...
Yeah. Very solid. I would say I enjoyed this game more than the first one, and just seeing all the pieces and how it all ties together was really neat. The last couple of cases in particular. You know, I love it when these games do this anyway, so I'm biased, but yeah, that was very enjoyable. In terms of score, I don't remember what I scored the first one. Bah.
I don't remember if you did.
I don't know if
Maybe
I did. I
you
wonder if I
did.
was waiting.
Because I'm sure I talked about at the time about how it's like it's tough because I didn't say much about why, but it's not really a separate game. It just isn't.
I don't know. I mean,
It is.
it is, but I mean, the stories are very much connected, and you get a lot more out of it. But I think for this review, I'll probably treat them as two separate games. So let's see. I'd probably... Oh my god, I fucking hate this guy.
There he is.
And now I get to see him in full body, too, and it's worse.
For the road.
For the road. B people. Wow, I forgot like 90% of these characters existed. Okay, sorry. First game. I'd probably give it probably a...
Do it. Do it. Yeah.
Oh god. Probably like a 7.5, I think, because if it was good, it set everything on its way, but it wasn't really clear what direction it was going in. Not a whole lot of resolution in that first game, I feel like.
Not really.
It's not particularly self-contained.
It does okay with that case and its ramifications, but not the overarching stuff, which again seems by design. And look, like the first three and the second three also have connections, but they're more standalone to me than this is. I really can't imagine playing 2 on its own. Whereas, like, I think you could play like Phoenix Wright 3. And
well, right, those
you'd
are
miss
very...
some things, but you'd get most of it. And
those
here
are very standalone. Whereas, like, this first game, there's like no resolution for anything. It all comes in this game. So
like you're missing character interactions and things you've built up with them over time, but not
and like a lot of those
crucial
story beats
plot.
don't come back until later. Yeah, it's I like. You know, I think there was a time when I was playing the Ace Attorney games where I thought it'd be really cool to have every single case connected. Because you know how we have those like random ones that are like filler and they suck and you can just tap dancing.
Yeah, this is happening.
This is oh, that's delightful. I love everything about this. You're both so bad at dancing, but it's fantastic and you have so much energy. And fuck this guy. Get him off the screen. What are you doing here? You don't get to dance.
Or you don't,
You're
just
a
like somebody
murderer.
else who's coming.
Get you off the screen too.
There he is. Are there
With the
birds though?
slow clapping. Yeah,
No,
are there birds?
There are no birds. He just
There's
slow
no
claps.
birds? Oh my god. Terrible. Okay, sorry. It'd be really cool to have everything connected. And I think these games, for the most part, actually do a pretty okay job at that. I just pause a little bit because cute. I feel like 10 cases is a long time for everything to finally come together. I almost wonder if they could have just trimmed it down maybe a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, while some of the stuff with like Olive Green end up connecting,
it feels a little, yeah, like that case with the collar at the end. For all intents and purposes, that case is jack all related. And they're like, oh, by the way, this is related. And I'm like, cool, but I don't know if it's kind of tacked on at the end to be like, we're connected. It's like this collar is only connected because of what happens later. Otherwise, what So
This could be 7 cases.
I feel like,
And
across these 2 games, you could have cut it down to at least 7 or 8 across both, and then the story would have been much tighter, and it would have felt more like how, like, 3 did, where you have 3 cases that are super connected, and then you have 1 or 2 that don't really matter, but... Because I feel like 3 did probably the closest and best job of, like, having these really strong interconnected cases. But I like the effort here, for sure. I don't want to be like, oh, there's a...
Yeah, it's tough, because I
Like-
love the way everything connects, and it at least makes those off cases feel more important,
Great
which
art.
is a struggle of all the earlier ones.
Right.
There's about 2 cases in almost every game that you could just throw out and
Oh,
not
100%.
miss a ton, other than some character moments and stuff, but, like, overall, you wouldn't miss out.
Right.
Here, you could take out 3 of the 10
Mm-hmm.
and not miss a ton,
Mm-hmm.
or at least shorten them, maybe condense it into 1
I
case.
feel like you could trim. Like, all the stuff with, what's his face? Catman.
Yeah,
I feel like you could just trim it down. We don't need all that.
but it's tough because then, like, the one with Giselle Brett's really important, even though it's not Naruhodo, who's in court for it.
Right.
And you need some of
It
the
is.
background for Soseki from the earlier case, so, like, you can't really do it, but you kind of can.
I feel like
So
you
I'm
could still
torn.
make it work. You could at least cut one of Soseki's cases, like the first one. What the hell was the... I don't even remember how that's connected. I'm sure it is in some way, but I don't remember, so...
Because
Yeah.
going through this as a passenger was interesting, especially in a game that's visual novel based. It was weird for me.
Oh,
Not
I bet.
in a bad way,
Mm-hmm.
but different. I don't know if I would do it again.
Yeah. I don't know how people watch YouTube videos. I say as we're doing
I
a
know.
YouTube video.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like,
Get out of here.
I
Go away.
personally could not... Like, definitely playing it is better for me. I don't think I could watch this series.
I like watching
it's-
people play like Elden Ring
Right.
or other games.
Kingdom Hearts is
Yeah.
fun.
Visual novels, maybe not so much. Unless the only way I would do it is if I had played it before to watch other people's reactions, and I wouldn't even watch a whole playthrough. I would just go to like pivotal moments.
Yeah, actually, that's fair. I would do
But
that too.
This was a series that we have branded on the channel, so like it seemed like a decent fit at the time. I,
mean,
don't
I'm
regret doing
glad
it.
I played it for sure. I still didn't give a score yet. I'll get to it.
Yeah. And this at least gave you the chance to do it
Mm-hmm.
because you had stopped.
Well, right,
think.
because I'd started it,
You
but
had-
then I think
you-
I stopped because we were
you
talking
put
about doing it
and
here.
I think you had kind of stopped briefly. I don't think you had put it down, but something else came up and you had switched to it or something like that, if I remember right.
I don't remember. Probably. something.
And that was kind of like a way to rekindle it. I will say this
Right.
before you, I don't know if you figured out a score. You said 7.5 for the
Then-
first one.
Nah, keep going.
I was sort of questioning whether I had made the right choice because I think I had this as my favorite game in the series.
Oh.
And until case 9 or
Mhm.
4 in this game,
Mhm.
I was like, God, is that really the right choice going through it again? Because I had sat on it for a while. It wasn't like I came out of my playthrough and going, yep, that's it. I usually like to give these things time.
Yeah.
Watching the last 2 cases, I was like, nah, this is it.
Mm.
Because I remember, like, even the second time, I kind of had like this grin on my face for the last 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
As all these things connect and all these
Mhm.
characters have these moments, there's still some huge reveals. And the sense of connectedness, I know, like, the first 6 games all have this as well. This isn't a slight against Phoenix and Maya or, like, Trucy or Apollo and Athena and, like, all these other characters that are all really good in this series. It's one of their best strengths.
Mhm.
But just the interconnectivity here, I think, hits differently than it has otherwise in the series, and that resonated with me.
I mean, I applaud the effort, absolutely. I think, for me personally, I feel like the execution was good, but it could have been even better. I think trimming just a couple things.
Yeah.
It's just really me just being nitpicky, but yeah, I like the idea of it, and I wouldn't mind them doing something like this again in the future, but
I don't know about all 10 cases.
I don't know about all 10. That's a lot, and
I like it.
it's a lot, and and there's some stuff that I know I forgot along the way because it's just inevitable.
Mm.
And I just feel like if you had shortened it a little bit, it would be less likely to forget those things. And then you could plant the seeds earlier too for some of that stuff. So I would give this game, I mean, I don't even know how it ranks compared to all of them. I haven't even bothered trying to rank all of them. I think 3 is still my number 1, and then I really like 5. And then I don't know, but I would say this is probably still somewhere in the middle ground, probably on the higher, this game is on the higher side. I'd say the first one's probably middle to low range.
Yeah.
But this one I would give like an 8.5. Yeah, I think 8.5 is a good score if it's somewhere middle to high. Von Zeke's great prosecutor, though. He might be one of my favorite prosecutors out of
He's
all
my
of them.
best.
He's really good, and his journey was very nice.
And there's some good ones in the series.
Oh yeah, across the board.
And one bad one. Well, okay, one main bad one, and also all the ouchie and pain variations, but those don't count.
Who's your main bad? I'm trying to remember who they all are.
You mentioned him earlier today. Does that help?
It does. I had a feeling you would say
Yeah.
Nayuda.
Yeah.
I think I probably agree with that.
I don't
Because
think
like
he's
Simon.
bad.
He's not bad. He's just he does get stuck in the same thing that Kazuma did for a bit. Man, Kazuma though, he went from being my favorite character.
Yeah, I was like, oh boy.
To
I wasn't going to dissuade you.
Not. I mean, he got better by the end again, but that was sort of sad and frustrating. I'm like, no, I like this guy. Why did you do this? I'm still a little torn on him too, by the way.
Too much
his
revenge.
treatment. I just hate the trope of like death, like fake out deaths and amnesia, and it was just like they crammed it all into a character that I really liked at first. I was like, that's unfortunate.
You asked about Tower of Fantasy earlier. There's amnesia in that in 10 minutes.
God damn it.
Now,
Every
it's
time.
at least makes sense. It's better than normal.
Okay, well that's nice, I guess. Because like I don't mind amnesia if there's a actual purpose to it. It's just so much of the time they just slap it on there like amnesia. So yeah, he sort of fell down the list a little bit of favorite characters by the end there. He's not bad. He's still good, but he definitely went from like favorite top tier to like at least in this game. I don't know how they all rank. That would be hard.
Sounds like a project for another time.
That does sound like a project for another day, and I can't think anymore, so.
Well, that's because it's 1:40 in the morning,
Jesus
so
Christ.
I will wrap this up. Unless you had any other thoughts, I'm not going to cut you off.
No,
but
no, you're good. I think
we
that's
could go
all
a
of it.
full review. We could talk about this for another half hour, but the fact remains we
could.
usually do a short version of these. Maybe we'll
Mhm.
revisit it if Sean ever does finish it. We'll give it a proper full review.
Yeah.
So
But it
I'm
was
gonna.
good. Glad I played it.
I'll use this outro to do two things. One, as always, at the very end of a playthrough, it's the only time I shill. So if you haven't already and you've made it this far for some reason, first of all, what the hell? And second of all, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I don't really care about the bell notification thing, but it exists and it matters to channels. Look, we have like 800 subscribers. We do this more for ourselves than anybody else. We're always happy for the people that come along with us, so I'm not saying that. But just in general, we're just doing this because it's kind of cool to have something later on and look back on it. But that said, we wouldn't mind more people coming along for the ride. So like, subscribe, hit the bell, comment down below what your favorite moment is, what your score would be, what characters stood out, good or bad. There's, plenty of major and minor characters that you could put in those lists.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one shilling.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second thing I'm going to do is not shilling, but a tease.
Yeah, what are we doing next? You keep teasing it. Are
Yeah, I haven't
Yeah.
really said much on air. I've been sort of just giving her nothing to go on off air.
Literally jack shit.
And this is tricky because with so much that we've recorded recently, because we have a hellish month and change coming up, especially for me, I'm the main cause for once. We had to get ahead or we would have no material. So this is like 6 or 7 weeks in the future this is going to come up. I won't give the full details, but I will tell you the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to make her do a Pokemon Nuzlocke run
Oh no.
with a twist.
Oh my god, no.
And you're like, but isn't the Nuzlocke the twist? No.
Oh
No, I have much
no.
more than that in store.
Oh god, I think I might know what some of this is. Oh no.
So,
That sounds painful.
yeah, it's a thing that we had sort of talked about doing. We even considered maybe trying to do some kind of 3-way one with Soul Link. It's not that. It's different. Yeah, so, I've already been torturing her through the majority of this, and at first I was like, am I going to play the next game? And the answer is, no, I'm going to make her do it.
Oh. That's horrifying. I'm scared. But
It'll be
also
great.
excited.
You want to have stakes? We'll have stakes. When Pokemon, and we'll talk about this when it comes up, but just as a short primer, if people don't know, that basically means if Pokemon ever gets knocked out, it's dead. You release it. And you nickname everything so you grow attachments, and you can only catch one Pokemon per route by most metrics. It's a whole rule set. We'll go over it in the intro to that video if you haven't heard of it, but just know it's going to be Pokemon on steroids, and it should be fun. Hell, it'll kind of correspond with the new game coming out in the middle of it. So,
Oh yeah.
which game are we doing? What's the setup? That's for me to know for now. It's a secret.
Dang.
You'll
I
have
was
to
hoping
tune
I'd
in.
get something like a Gen. I don't know, any number or letter at this point.
I'll tell you, it's not 7 or 8.
Yeah. Well, because we did... What is Black and White Jen again? Oh my
5.
god. It's 5? Oh, Christ. Okay. Wow, it's really only 5? Okay. Sorry. My brain is on fire. Goodbye, everyone. Thank
Yes,
you all
it's time for
so
bed.
much for your time.
Thank you for watching. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Hit me up on
Like and
Patreon.
subscribe.
There's no Patreon. Goodbye.